it's Raquel Bowman here, and today I'm here sharing a layout for Pink Paislee's National Scrapbook Day challenges. And what I decided to do, and my challenge for you all, is to get stitchy. So it could be machine stitching, it could be hand stitching, it could be doing string art, it could be doing a bit of both, anything at all that incorporates stitching onto your pages. It could be some accent stitching or a lot of stitching like I've done, but my challenge is to get stitchy in whichever way you choose. So what I decided to do for my sample for this challenge is I'm using one of the new string art templates by Page. And what I have done is I've grabbed some white cardstock and I've drawn dots all around where the stitching piecing guide is with my pencil. Then what I did was I took my sewing machine and I sewed around that, so the edge of it. And then what I painstakingly did was I placed my string art template on top of my stitched love heart, and then I used my marker and I started at one point and I just marked where all of that point's lines met, and then used a ruler and ruled them. And then once I'd done them for all of them, I took my page over to my sewing machine and I've stitched them, as you can see here. Now a couple of them I didn't do perfectly, or it's not a flawless finish, that's for sure, and completely correct to the guide, because after a while I think all the lines start to go into each other and I got a bit confused, to be honest, but I still love the effect, and I figured that a bit of that creative license is okay. So the photo that I'm scrapbooking is just one of my kids and myself, and it was a selfie we took, and my daughter loves pulling silly faces, and so that's what this one is. And I just like it because it just shows the cheekiness of them and us having fun together. So I've pulled out one of the wood veneers from the Fancy Free collection, and it's in the veneer pack, and I thought that I'd frame that photo in that veneer piece. And I wanted this to have a really bright background, so I chose this pattern paper from the collection, and I'm actually going to matte this white on there, so it's a real good pop of colour against that white background. I have taken out already this title here, which I've been dying to use because I think it's so pretty, and this life from the chipboard pack, and I wanted to have something like a colourful life with you, or something like that for my title. And then I have gathered a few bits and pieces that I thought would work, and I'll start assembling and adding some extra details and things in a moment, but I thought I'd talk you just through what I've gathered, and then I will get started on the creating and putting everything together. Okay, so I'm beginning by getting my frame ready. So what I did was I've printed my photo a lot smaller, and I did that on an app. I changed it. I only had access to my Wi-Fi printer on this day, so I did it on an app and then did a bit of editing to make it smaller and printed that small on my printer that's connected to our Wi-Fi, and thankfully it fit perfectly within that frame. I have then taken one of the cut apart sheets and I've punched out the hello to make a bit of an embellishment and a tab from that, and I've also used a leftover part of one of the sheets to just use my border punch to create a layer, and I've used one of the tags from the tag pack, which I'm loving, that yellow tag. I think it's really pretty. This floral design is also on the cut apart sheet, and I thought that I would just fussy cut those flowers out and use them as an embellishment. And I like that they're a little bit smaller, they're not as large as that 12 by 12 print of paper, so that works nicely. I had worked on a bit of a cluster to the top left of the page, but that does end up changing. And I also wanted to incorporate some buttons, so you can sort of see to the right of my desk there, I do have some bits and pieces that I thought I might want to add to the layout. I'm adding and now working on that top left cluster, and I am just punching out some vellum. I just wanted to tuck something behind that top left side. And then I wanted to add a pop of green, so I've grabbed out my label punch. That's by EK Success, I think, and just added that pop of green. And then I still felt like even with those couple of die cut pieces, it needed something else. So I end up grabbing out some heart punches and punching out lots and lots of tiny hearts to sort of scatter on the page. And I was happy with how they look, and I tried to use the sections of that paper that had that sort of multi-toned look, just to give it a bit of difference rather than just all a red or bright pink colour. Now what I'm doing is just cutting a fishtail in a little strip of cardstock just to add another layer to that top cluster. I just felt like it was missing something, so that for me finished that little part off nicely. And I've scattered those hearts just to sort of look like they've dropped on the page, but obviously I've carefully placed them. And now I'm going back to my photo arrangement, and I'm just adhering down all of the different layers. So I've got a couple of tabs there, one of them I punched out. I've got a doily there, and that's just a 4-inch doily, and I am loving that size. That there is a tag from the tag pack, which I'm layering behind. So this little photo cluster here is very layered and dimensional. And I don't normally work with photos this small, but I really enjoyed being able to create a lot of dimension with my layers and the products that I used around and under that frame. So I'm just applying some foam to make it pop off even more. So it is quite dimensional because the frame is a wood veneer piece in the wood veneer pack in the Fancy Free collection. So that's given it a nice pop of height. And then those circular elements that say, that one says, oh yeah, is actually punched from one of the pattern papers that was full of circles with words and phrases in them. So I just used I think it's a 1 1/4 inch punch because I don't have any bigger that's a circle, and punched those. I think that's actually something on my wish list, is to get some varying size circle punches just because they're nice and quick and easy. Though really I shouldn't be lazy and just get out my Cuttlebug because I have nested dies that would probably do the same job. I'm adding a couple of the buttons, and I added the red because I felt like there was a few things there, like with the word life and with the hearts, they're a deeper colour. So I thought it would be nice to add that red into the layout. I still haven't adhered the whole layout to the background just yet. I'm just working on my clusters and my layers before I adhere that final piece to the background. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I just use a few strips of a double-sided tape, and it's quite a good sticking tape. It's not one that's it's not repositionable really once you stick it on. It's a bit tricky to take it off once it's on. So I've adhered the base down, and now I'm just looking to see what else I might be able to add to the layout. I did grab out the chipboard and see if there was anything else, but I couldn't really find anything that worked. And now I've got these Heidi Swap alphas from my stash because I couldn't find a smaller alpha in my Pink Paislee collections that I wanted to use that matched. So these are a really nice teal colour. They're like an epoxy kind of alphabet, and I just wanted to add and build on my title. So I'm going to have it say such a colourful life and then with you in the Heidi alphas. So I'm just gluing down with my fine line bottle some of the hearts that I'd punched out, and I still have a couple more bits and pieces to add. I do end up using my liquid adhesive to add the alpha stickers down, just because I kept fiddling and moving them around so many times to make them work on the page. I just wasn't sure of the placement of where I was going to put them, and I wanted it to look sort of balanced but also going on that diagonal. And I did embellish with a few of these thickers, these glitter thickers in the collection, and they're just like a Swiss cross. So I put a few of those on the page, and now I'm working on that final part of the title, that with you, and I can pretty much say I think I moved these pieces, or these letters, 4 or 5 times before I was happy with where they were. So they start below the title, and then I decide to stagger them, so with is under that life, and then you sort of goes across even further. And yeah, I just kept moving them around until I felt like it worked. So yeah, moving again. It was a little bit frustrating, and I also wanted to keep them on sort of flowing on a similar angle as the such a on the page. And that's my finished layout. So the challenge is to get stitchy on your layouts. I hope that you can join in. Tag me on Instagram at Raquel P, and don't forget to hashtag Pink Paislee NSD 2016. Bye.